All right, so make sure we get a sound wise. All right, so first off, I'm gonna start off by saying Barakathon, yahawashai, call halal, yahawashai. Right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, bahasham, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the whole free leg, starting with the 144,000. Shalom. All right, so this lesson comes to the spirit power, yahawashai. I was watching Elder Pastor Romline lesson. I still got to pull it right here on my other phone. And it's titled Everything is Suspect. And I can really account for the individual that he's, basically like, what inspired to do this lesson. But basically going into like you know, Jake basically saying, I guess he asked in his camp, could he basically miss out for 3 weeks because he having a job or whatnot. You got a job you got to do. And really the title of the lesson is You Choose the World Over Yahawah. But I really say, Jake chooses the world over Yahawah, right? And it's a quote that Elder Pastor Romline said. He said, um, you know, if you called into this truth, if you really part of that number, right, that elect, those things that distract you or keep you caught up in this world, Yahweh shall remove it from you. And now, I screen recorded part of the lesson, sent it to the brothers because the brothers know, I play college football, and I always wonder, like, because I ain't gonna lie, I was a good player, and it was always little things like I'd be starting right for the season and something happen. Plenty times, right before the season, something go down or where I wouldn't, things as such. And when, Lord willing, through the spirit, right, going to that spiritual man, started to see it, right, that, hey, Yahweh was pulling me out of the world, pulling me out of his way because those things were distracting, have you caught up in the world, have you caught up in the way of this life, which this life is nothing, So, quick good precepts real fast, just on what I just said. Excuse me. Yahweh tries to pull me away out of it, and I had to understand it. First, I ain't see it, until the brother Congo Bar, he sent me the elder Master Zakbak, page, and I started watching. That's when I started watching GMS, and I started watching GMS. As designing that sense of milk, growing more and more into a spiritual man. It started to hit me like, boy, this ain't what I'm supposed to do. I ain't supposed to be in the world because playing football, trying to go to the NFL, I was gonna have to be caught up in the world, right? You gotta be caught up in the way of the world, right? They profess so much Christianity all throughout sports things. They damn near forced it on everybody, but that wasn't to me. I wasn't. I used to be like an outcast out there. They would do things, how things that says I'd be outcast because I understand the truth, right? But when I came into GMS, that's when I fully, took that step, took that leap, But Lord, this ain't no testimony type lesson. It's just good precept real fast. And as I'm going to this, I really say what we're going to go into is how you got to understand that everything you need, everything that you need, Yahweh can provide for you, But Jake chooses the world over Yahweh because Jake has no faith, right? Jake moving the flesh. That's why he said right here, 1 John 2:15, right? It said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, love his father not in him. And the elder Pastor Romla brought that precept, you cannot serve two masters, right? But that's why scripture say what? For the love of money. Jake loved money. Jake loved popularity. Jake loved being seen as a big dog in this earth. So guess what? He gonna try to find any way to build that status. And the main way to get that status is what? Through money. For the love of money is the root of all evil, For the love of money. Not money, love of money. Because you got to understand, and not just to hark on this lesson, I don't know the guy at the pastor I'm not talking about, but as you can see these people are caught up in these ways because you truly understand it. That's the bitter and the sweet that you gotta accept. He talking about a job, he gotta go do the job through. So say, hey, if that job gonna interfere, get in the way of doing the works, how about Shin Shot? Get away from that. right? Because the scriptures tell you, seeing all these things burnt with favorite heat, merely paraphrasing, what type of life you think you should live? All these things going to be destroyed around you. Think you should focus on that job. You should focus on the truth, man. Right? So this 1 John 2:15 again says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If many men love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Right? The point right here says, for all that is in the world, the lust of flesh. Ain't nothing but lust of flesh. When a man drawn away, he's drawn away with his own lust. That flesh. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to go to 2 Corinthians after this. It says, in the lust of eyes and the pride of life. That's what Jay had, a pride of life. They choose the word over Yahawah because they got that pride of life. They want to be big. They want that big dog status in this kingdom, in this wicked place. Right? Because that's what Esau put out, that fornication of Babylon that got everybody drunken. You got to have the money to get the power. Well, our power is Yahawah, right? Our power is Yahawah. Our riches is his knowledge of truth, right? It says, in the pride of life is not of the Father, but of this world, right? He says, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahawah abideth forever, right? And that's why Jake's so lost, man. He that do the will of Yahawah abideth forever, man. But you getting caught up in the way of this world, caught up in the way of this life, you gonna destroy it, right? I'm gonna go to just 4:16 real fast. It says, for which cause we faint not, right? It said, but through our outward man, but though our outward man perish, what is that? That's the flesh. The flesh is gonna try to pull you and grab you to do all these things, get you caught up in the way of these things, right? It says, yet the inner man will do day by day. Because why? Yahawah, he understand the suffering, the pain, and all the hardship we facing. That's part of the truth. That's part of his ministry. We gonna have it harder than others. We might, it really wouldn't be expedient for us to take no big job or take no things that such. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying, like the elder saying, hey, if it's gonna interfere with you coming to the truth, you truly elect Yahawah, gonna get rid of it. But that goes into the something bitter and the sweet that you got to understand. Jake don't know how to eat the whole roll. Jake just want the good things and the things that come with the truth, your spiritual power of the kingdom. But he don't really want to endure the suffering, the pain, and hardship. These sacrifice things you got to make. We die daily for this truth, man. Right? It's things you got to make. It's all about doing the will. That's why Hebrews 5:12 tell you the first oracle. We're the first oracle, and everything we do give honor and glory to Yahawah. You think going to do a job and sitting out 3 weeks? Come on, man. Once again, this is using this lesson, the God, the elder pastor, I'm not talking about edification, because you got to see it. Jacob chooses the world over Yahawah, man, because you understand it. Yahawah tell you to do what, right? Yahawah tells us to do what? Really, it's Yahawah talking, right? Yahawah told us to do what, right? It's Matthew 6 and verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahawah, right? Matter of fact, it's like, I'm gonna go up, right? Actually, is it this one? Yeah, this is actually the precept Elder Pastor Ron brought up, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I started verse 24, actually, right? Matthew 6:24, right? It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahawah and Mammon. So you can't serve two. You have to pick a side, man. But guess what? Jake choose the world. Jake choose the money. Jake want to be rich, right? It says, therefore I said to you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, what you shall put on. Is not the life more than the meat? Is the body more than and the body more than the remnant? Right? He said, behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are you not much better than they? Right? So the birds eating, things as such, the animals eating. You don't think Yahawah can provide for you? Jake has no faith, man. Right? It says, which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit to his stature? He said, and why take ye thought for your remnant? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. Right? They toil not, they spin. Yet I say to you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if Yahawah so clothe the grass of the field, which today is, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, right? Because guess what? It's all going to be destroyed, right? Shall ye not much more clothe you ye of little faith? They got little faith, man, right? They got little faith, right? Yahawah Shem Shah gonna provide everything you need. The plants get provided, the fowls of the air, the tree, everything else Yahawah Shem Shah provide them. But you think he gonna provide for you? So guess what you do? You'll try to run, you'll try to run and go do this, go do that, go do this wickedness, go do that, go do these things of the world to try to get what you want. Instead of actually getting what you need. You need this now is understand this sound doctrine. Sound means healthy. This is healthy for you. This leads you to eternal life. Everything you do is going to lead you to corruption, to death, right? But you have little faith, so you don't understand how Bashan Yah provide for you. That's why you will have Jake feel like he got to go do this. He got to go do that. And once again, oh, slack it. Slack it. Got some. I'm going to do it real fast. Slack it. Lock it. Right? But back to what I was saying, Jay got a little faith, man. So they don't think they have to go put all their time and effort and try to build them a life, try to build them, really, on the fact, well, think about it. Jake, we want to try to build a status so he can be at rest here. But you got to understand, we'll never be at rest here. The scriptures tell you, we'll be like pilgrims. We'll always have it hard. We always have to be on the move. Because that's the suffering, that's the curses. No matter how rich you try to get, no matter how, no matter how much that you try to build, it's never going to work, right? It's Micah 2:10, real fast, as rise ye and depart. For this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction, right? This is not your rest. It don't matter how much, status you try to build, no matter how much, things, how much comfort you try to get, this it's gonna be hardship. It's gonna be pain. It don't matter about no big job, no things as such, right? Because at the end of the day, we under curses. You can have that job, this thing, you can end up going off the grid, messing up. Having to say, you know how it is in this world. Having to sell your soul, give something up, just in order to maintain and keep it. And what you was gonna do, you was gonna give up putting in time with the truth to go put in time for that job. Come on, man. Is it that more serious than Yahawah? Once again, seeing how all these things be destroyed with every heat, what type of godly lives should you live? Really paraphrasing. You think you should be trying to build a lifestyle in this world? You think you should be trying to choose this world? If the scriptures telling you, that's why these watchmen are set here. Once again, I'm going to keep reiterating. That's why Yahawah using his prophets, the ones who are going to see that first domain in his kingdom, the prophets and the elect, to set that standard for you to understand this world is nothing, right? This world is nothing. But Jake continuously choose the world over Yahawah. That's why 2/3 got to be destroyed. And that's why Yahawah going to destroy this place and show you, right? But I had a precept real fast that came to my mind. Let's see. It might be Psalm 73, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. I'm kind of figured it was Psalm 73. We'll turn this off. Right, so this is Psalm 73. We're going to go back to Matthew's. We're going to go back to Matthew. Right, this is Psalm 73. And I started verse 3. It says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." And that's what Jake see. Jake see and Esau and all these other nations have this good lifestyle, right? Esau is the wicked, but why I say the other nations, because these other nations, the other nations, they at rest, they having it good down here, But Jake see Esau, Edom, the wicked, they living good, they having it, but that was their blessing, right? They having generational wealth, they having money, Esau be born into riches, Esau have baby be born a millionaire, billionaire type. Jake see that, and that's the type of life Jake want. It says, Uh, for their bands, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. That's the point. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Meaning what? They're not under the curses how we under the curses. They're not, we're under curses, man. Which these curses are going to be reversed, right? Unto them, when we get into our kingdom, we're not in our homeland, we're under curses, man. For what? For trying to choose the world over Yahawah Shai. So therefore, Yahawah Shai put us under curses. Now we got to endure the suffering, endure the pain, right? And 2 Corinthians 4:17 tells you, for this light affliction, and compared to the eternal glory that hold more weight. Merely paraphrasing, right? The things that are in front of us ain't compared to nothing that we going through, right? But Jake got little faith. He can't keep his patience, so Jake try to get all that right now. Proverbs 38, Yahawah Shai got it set, that daily bread, right? Where you don't got to get too high. Where you think you don't need the Lord, you got to get too low, you take his name in vain. He got that just balance. The things that are convenient for us, he provide for us. Everything we need, he give it to us. So let's go back to Matthew 6. That's exactly what he tell us. Right? What he tell us, right? What were we at? Right here, verse 31. It says, take therefore no thought, saying, what ye shall eat, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink? Wherewithal we will be clothed. It says, for all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that you have need of all these things, right? Yahawah Shai, knowing you got need of all these things, but you don't got faith, think he gonna provide. But what he said right here, this is what Yahawah Shai telling, right? He said, verse 33, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto thee. So seek first the kingdom and righteousness, then all these things be added unto thee, man. Right? Yahawah Shai know the other apostle about a precept, 1 Corinthians 7:31. One of my favorite precepts, those who use the word not abusing it. Right? You trying to build a life, we know we gotta go to, we ain't in our homeland. We still in captivity. So we know you gotta go to work, you gotta do things, provide, stay, but that's that balance. That's not get too high, get too low. Doing what you gotta do to maintain until it's time for us to get into the kingdom. But Jake want a glorious lifestyle. Jake want riches. He see the prosperity of the wicked and think that's how he's supposed to live. It's not, man. That's why Jacob choose the world over Yahawah Shai. Because all that's in this world is what? The lust of eye, the pride of life. And all that's going to be destroyed. All that's going to be brought down. Yahawah Shai tells you, right? It's all going to be brought down. It's all going to be destroyed. He's going to destroy all of it and show you, right, that none of this was nothing. They trying to obtain a corruptible crown. We trying to obtain an incorruptible crown, But and they like the turn of the hand. Jake always choose the world over Yahawah Shai because they got that pride of life. I had another precept in mind, Lord willing, right? What is that? Let's see. No, just came to me. I'm gonna say I had another one in mind, but Lord, we'll go through this one. Lord willing, come back to me, right? It's James 4, right? It's James 4 and verse 4. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not the friendship of the world is enemy with Yahawah? Whosoever therefore be a friend of this world is enemy of Yahawah. Because why? The earth is in the hands of the wicked, right? The earth is in the hands of the wicked. So therefore, the scriptures came back to me. The earth is in the hands of the wicked. So therefore, you trying to build any light, trying to entangle yourself with the affairs of this life, with script what we're going to bring out, man, you bought out, you tripping. Right? Because all this world gonna do is do what? Turn you against Yahawah Shai. Look at Jake. Jake finna get a job. What he finna do? You want to stop teaching for 3 weeks so he can get put in time for the job. Why don't you put that time into Yahawah Shai? Even the elder said, you take 15 to 20 minutes out each day to study and get a lesson done, man. But Jake want that rest. Jake want to try to build that fame that he want to put all his coins into the pot. But he want to put all his coins into the pot of that. Not even that. Jake want to be double-minded. Jake want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Nah, man, you lukewarm. Yahawah Shai said he'll screw you out. You got to be all the way in, right? This is 2 Timothy 2. I start at verse 3. It says, Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawah Shai. So we got to endure pain. We got to endure suffering. We got to do hardship. Endure hardship. That's just part of it, right? He says, no man that warreth entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. If a man also strive for masters, yet he is not crowned, said he strive lawfully. Right? So you gotta do it the right way. What is the right way? Coming in through the Yahawashai, studying this truth, doing the works, and doing the stuff, doing our faith, showing our faith through our works, man. You know? The thing I like to quote my coach used to say, your interest level, your effort level shows your interest level. So you ain't putting time in, you choosing everything else. It shows you're not interested in this truth, man. So how about you gonna spew you out? Get ready. That's what once again, at Apostle Hart been harking on that as well. Well, the elders, all the elders been harking on that lately. 2026, man, it's gonna be the year of apostates being exposed, apostate judgment. Those phonies, those fake, y'all about outside sifting them out the way, man. They not really in this thing, not really rooted. Soon as something come up, they on up out of here. The pair with Matthew 13. They're not really rooted, man. They're not really in this thing for real. Right? So Lord willing, got a quick closing pretty real fast, man. This is Colossians 3, right? Now I started verse 1. It says, if ye then be risen with Hamashiach Yahawashai, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach Yahawashai sitteth on the right hand of Yahawah. Set your affection on the things above. Set your affection on the things above, not things on earth. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach Yahawashai in power, man. So you gotta understand our life is hid, right? Verse 4, our life is hid, but it's gonna be revealed unto us when what? When Yahawashai crack the sky and then elect is beamed up. The chariot. Then we're gonna receive everything we're supposed to have, right? We're gonna receive everything we're supposed to have. But right now we're supposed to endure suffering, hardship, pain, eat the whole road, bitter and sweet, man. You ain't always gonna have. You're not gonna have no fancy, big boy job thing. So you ain't gonna have no fancy, rich lifestyle. I'm not saying you can't, but it's not. It ain't not me nobler call, man. Not me nobler call. You gotta understand the calling. You're gonna go through hardship, pain, stuff. That's part of it, right? His verse 4 says, when Hamashiach Yahawashai, who is our life, shall appear, then ye also appear with him in glory. So when he cracked the sky and bring destruction upon this place, but also bring the salvation for the elect, and that's when we're going to receive everything we're supposed to. We're going to change the spiritual body, going to receive everlasting life, man. Right? But Jake want to choose the world. That's why 2/3 going to be destroyed. They ass going to have to see, man. They ass going to have to see. How about you going to have to show them something, man. So with that being said, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and exalting. Right now, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashai, bahasham, kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.